So, how the hell does he get out of here? So I'm back. Am I back on the, No, I'm still on the, bleh. I'm still in, the DLC. Alright, so let's actually see our real ending. Because I just wanted to see what happens if you let Joshua kill that guy. And apparently if you do that, the Sorrows become psychopathic murder machines. And Joshua builds a powerful religious zealot army. And his legends as like this freaky, crazy murder man continue to grow forever. Meanwhile, if we can find this one oven... I'm facing the wrong way here. We will get a Brahmin steak before we wrap this thing up. Squirrel stew this time. That's not as good. Maybe it's a sign we should have let Joshua kill that guy. It was the true path. Oh no, I forgot to... Ah, damn it. I forgot to... Okay, well we have to load anyway, because I forgot to read the speech-increasing magazine that would allow us to get the ending I want. It's just ending text that's something. Whatever that is, it goes flying every time. It's just ending text that changes it. Because you never actually none of these characters will appear for you to interact with after the DLC's over, from what I've heard. So we got a temporary increase to our speech. It is now 100. It needed to be at like 90. It was only at 89. So they didn't make it literally as difficult as you can make a speech check in the game, but it was pretty darn close. It's weird. You wouldn't think it would be that difficult to talk a Mormon out of murdering somebody with like gangland style execution. But the Burned Man is kind of a special case.
We warned you at Syracuse, and you persisted.
We warned you at Ball State and at Wake Forest.
Like the dogs of Caesar you are. You followed us to Zion. And now you stand on holy ground.
You jerk.
Temple to God's glory.
I'm not standing.
The only use for an animal in our temple is sacrifice. Kale wachene conserva o.
Conserva o.
You understand me?
Conserva O's are my favorite cereal. Bro, true?
Out mine.
Yeah. Well, this is what I signed up for, dude.
Him hear you. You talk.
Utah?
Don't listen to this thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Joshua, you already won. Look around you. There's no need to kill him.
He has a debt to pay for what he's done, and I've come to collect. And so he's chosen to cower in the water like a dumb animal.
Dumbass. If what you believe is true, he'll pay for it later. The Sorrows don't need to see you do this. That last... Okay, the first sentence, good. The last sentence, really good. Something or other... Oh, okay, I've been wondering a long time. I never said anything about it out loud. What his vest was marked. And it's Salt Lake City Police Department SWAT. So yeah, I mean, I just never noticed it before. This is not the first time we've had a good view of it. I just kind of... I would notice the text and wonder what it said when we couldn't see it that well, and then when we could see it that well, I wasn't noticing it. I don't know. Sorry. But yeah. Okay, God will judge him later, dude, but more importantly, in my opinion, do you really want the whole Sorrows tribe to see their hero, like, butchering dudes?
I want to take from them what they took from me, from my family. In this life, I want them to suffer. I want all of them to die in fear and pain.
Yeah, but should you want that, dude?
I want to have my revenge. Against him. Against Caesar. I want to call it my own. To make my anger God's anger.
He's figuring it out.
To justify the things I've done. Sometimes I tell myself that these wildfires never stop burning. But I'm the one who starts them. Not God. Not them.
Oh, see, we're saving his soul here.
See it in my mind. The warmth and the heat. It will always be a part of me. But not today.
Well, you did just execute two people.
Get out of here. Go back. back to the Great Salt Lake.
Get lost, you pussy. Oh, we're talking to him. I didn't get to pickpocket him.
That's it.
Oops, my
It's
speech thing wore
finished.
off.
Thank you for staying with me. I couldn't have done this on my own.
I reward you with a
Let's
level
go
up.
find Daniel. Tomorrow we'll be here soon. And there is much to do.
Alright, level up, bitches. So... it's tempting to get this leveled up so we don't have to worry about stuff like that sneaking up on us. It's also tempting to level this up so that I'll always get the best barter deals ever. And you know what, frankly, I'm not using melee weapons, so let's level up barter all the way. And then maybe next time I'll get repair and add the rest. Maybe get this up to 90. I don't know. This is probably the sensible thing, is to actually get working on this, but... I don't know. I think barter and repair, yeah, so that I don't have to remember, I don't have to, like, think about whether or not I should be using magazines. Like, having everything up to 100 is just not necessary. Then again, though, melee weapons, I'm getting 17 points per. By the time I get up to level 50, I don't think there's any way, if I continue to put energy weapons and unarmed below it, I don't think it's, I don't even know, I don't feel like doing the math. I might have no choice but to get melee weapons up. But for right now, let's get barter to 100 and repair to 100. And then I'll think about whether I want to get speech to 100. But barter and repair are things that actually have a role in game other than checks. Just like sneak, having that at 100 so that you don't have to think about it is good. Lockpicks and computer, you will always be in a position, you should almost always be in a position where you can just read the magazine when you come across a very hard computer terminal, a very hard lock to pick. Medicine's another one. I mostly think about it in terms of checks. Medicine and survival, both, I guess. I could boost them to 100, but because they affect you every time you use stim packs or eat food, but how often do I really need to do that? I'm eating food mostly to keep that hunger meter down. Overthinking this. This is good enough. Let's proceed. And now for perk. This perk seems really interesting, but it doesn't actually do anything. I probably would have grabbed it by now, except that I've found out that survival is a mother invention. Craft ammo at the reloading bench using alternate materials, scrap metal, and tin cans. I don't think this will be as important from now on. I think this DLC in particular, it was difficult to get the ammo you want, although it might be a problem in later stuff too. Oh, this is the one that's glitched. That doesn't do anything. Oh, no. This is the one I was interested in. While wearing light armor, you gain plus 5% hit chance. Your enemies suffer a minus 25. That's not bad. And I do kind of like light armor, but... Hunter, you're the hunter from the future. You see, part of me wishes I'd gotten this, but getting it now just seems silly. It's so late on in the game. Running gun, There's 3 levels of this. This is the thing, if you want to do explosives, you level up explosives as early as possible and then get 3 ranks of this, and you'll be just crushing everything. Except explosives can be kind of an expensive way to play. In terms of, like, the amount of caps you need, that I need, that you need, the thing, the guy, I don't know. When you use guns, you are more likely to recover cases and hulls. You also have all hand load recipes unlocked. What was this one again? Yeah, I didn't know if it affected sniper rifle or not. You have more efficient recycling recipes available at the workbench. Oh, with energy weapons. Never mind. I don't care about those. I know we've been through these, folks. I'm just making sure I didn't forget something. Strong back is always a potential. I think, though, I would be more likely to actually go into intense training and boost strength. Especially because that would actually open up something else that we... Tribal wisdom. Stay back. Fight the powers that be. What did that do again? Oh, factions. Finesse is the one that I'm probably going to grab. Misfortune, Mr. Sandman, Mr. Stranger. When crouched and not moving, gain +2 to perception. My perception's already pretty high, I think, though. Pyromaniac. This is worth getting if you want to do, well, obviously, pyro stuff. Splash damage, explosions, adamantium skeleton. If you don't fool around with fancy trick shooting, straight to the midsection, down they go. I'm blasting to show 50% damage with attacks targeted. That really could be good. I'll have to keep center of mass in mind as one to potentially get. Light step. No, no, no. Explorer is a possibility, of course. Tunnel runner. I don't feel like. I don't know. I keep changing my mind about that one. I don't have enough charisma. Yeah, I could start just boosting charisma. But oh, there's only you can only do required level 10 ranks 1. Why can't I do this one? It's not that I want it. I'm not sure why you can't do that one. Heavyweight, strength is 7. Weapons heavier than 10 pounds don't weigh half as much. I'd have to have more strength to do that one. So that's like 2 per... I'd have to put another perk into getting 1 more point of strength, and then another perk into getting heavyweight. But it might be worth it. No, not really. I don't usually carry around that many weapons. I'd be better off just getting plus 50% carrying capacity. Can't do that because I don't have enough laser commander, ninja perk. Get melee weapons up. I could do ninja. This is just a very silly one, I think. How many times? You can only get intense training 10 times, although actually I've got a lot more that I could do. Let's get the increase your chance of getting a critical hit one. And just get out. After all that, I know, I'm sorry. After all that, we're just going to get this one. I already automatically get critical hits when I get a sneak attack,
and
but...
so it was that the conflict between the new Canaanites and the Whitelegs was
We the
finally
Canaanites,
resolved.
and you know that we're back.
The
Everybody else
courier's
in the house
involvement
know
had
that
tipped
they're
the
whack.
scale,
Let's actually
shifting
see
the
what
fragile
changes
balance
since
of
we
power.
didn't let the Burning Man murder everybody.
By the dead horse and Sorrow's attack the courier and Joshua Graham led against them, the Whitelegs retreated to Great Salt Lake. Their days were numbered. Word soon reached the 80s tribe that the Whitelegs' spirit was broken. Their war chief a
It's
dim
the
shadow of his former
80s.
self.
Do a lot of
By
coke and
year's
look
end,
around Reagan.
the 80s would overrun the Whitelegs' camps, scattering the tribe to the winds and claiming the Great Salt Lake for its own.
So they get
The
defeated no
Sorrows
matter
fought
what.
beside Joshua Graham
Probably unless you
and the dead
retreat.
horses, eradicating the threat the Whitelegs posed to Zion. Seeing the courier convince Joshua Graham to spare salt upon wounds, the Sorrows learned that retribution could be tempered by mercy.
They seem pretty
Though
malleable.
he despaired at the Sorrows' loss of innocence, Daniel took some small consolation in the courier's lesson,
So
and
you
prayed it would take root.
so you took the best
Having
ending
helped
here, I guess.
eradicate the Whitelegs from Zion, the dead horses returned to Dead Horse Point in triumph. They remained neutral toward the Sorrows, but as years went on, there were periods of competitive friction. even violence between the tribes.
Boxing
The new
matches.
Canaanites, Daniel especially, intervened regularly as mediators, but found it difficult to reconcile the tribes' conflicts.
The defeat of the Whitelegs and Zion marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Happy Trails Caravan Company. Every 2 months, the caravan met with the new Canaanites in Zion Valley to trade. Happy Trails soon returned to prosperity.
I was
Victories of
grateful
the
from
Sorrows
my
and Dead
seat in
Horses
heaven.
defending southwestern Utah.
Captain.
Initially stumbling to Happy Trails caravans, soon proved a blessing. The tribes united against the 80s, driving them back from Highway
It's
50,
the 80s.
and thus opening
Do a
yet
lot of
another trading route
cooking
for Happy
before
Trails
Reagan.
caravans.
Follows
In
Chuck
Bess and
took the
Hubbard
courier's
Good and
words to
B.J.
heart and decided that he
McNaney.
would behold the sights and sounds of distant lands with his own eyes and ears. After
So yeah,
returning
did we
to
get
Dead
him
Horse Point,
killed? That
he quarreled with
Oh,
his
wow.
family and other tribe members about his ambitions.
oh,
One
Oh.
morning, they awoke to discover that Follows Chuck had set off alone, westward, into the wilderness. He was never seen again.
by them or by
Waking Cloud
anyone?
was distraught when she learned of her husband's death, but took comfort from her tribe and the compassion of the new Canaanites. She forgave Daniel for having concealed her husband's fate from her, and
You know,
learned to
Shadow's a
accept
jerk.
his fate. When her grief faded, she took a husband from the Dead Horse tribe. At her bidding, he stayed close to home.
The threat of the Whitelegs ended. Joshua Graham helped the Sorrows and Dead Horses tend to their fallen comrades.
But he started murdering everyone
and
anyway.
secure Zion. The courier's words had stayed Joshua's wrath in his darkest hour, and in sparing salt
Wasn't his
upon
darkest
wounds,
hour when he got rolled down a
he was
mountainside,
changed.
set on fire?
While he continued to advocate militant opposition to the enemies of New Canaan, he sometimes showed quarter to those who crossed his family.
Oh,
Eventually, this new spirit would diminish the myth of the burned man in distant lands. A small price for the peace it brought to Joshua Graham.
see,
For
that's
years
much nicer
after the
ending.
defeat of the Whitelegs, Daniel did his best to minister to the Sorrows' spiritual needs. Try as he might, he could not hold back the tribe's increasing militancy and reverence of Joshua Graham. Demoralized, he returned to his family in Dead Horse Point. His failures haunted him for the rest of his days.
Okay, so
And with that,
you're still all
The
pissed,
courier
but
walked out of the history of
Well, all
the tribes of
depressed, I guess.
Zion and back to the gathering storm of the Mojave Wasteland.
I'm deep-voiced black man. Well, there you go. See that? So okay, you can't get like a super stuck-up, dark-hatted cowboy guy to be happy with you, no matter what. But you can, excuse me. Well, I mean, you probably can if you do a different path and retreat. But there was no way that you were going to. Oh, what's in here? A light shining in the... Oh, a whole bunch of cool shit, huh? Alright, well. Looks like I might have to do a little off-screen management. So this is a light shining in the darkness. That's like a super gun that Joshua had. He also had a melee version, but I don't think we get that. Scripture. Don't know what that does, but I guess we could take it along, you know, story about the Jesus coming to visit the special tribe of Jews who lived in upstate New York. Salt upon wound stuff. Yeah, I was wondering if we would get a chance to take his gear. Joshua's armor. It's light. Crit chance +3. It might actually be better than the leather armor we've been wearing. Daniel's outfit, which doesn't do much, but it's a unique item, so I feel like we should probably try to use it or retain it. They're not that heavy, but they're heavy enough that we're not going to be able to take them with us on this next trip back. See how much of it we can take, though. Chalk's headdress. It just looks very silly. I suppose knowing that they're here and that I could come get them later might be enough. This guy's Power Fist. I want Joshua Graham's armor, actually. What would I have to leave behind to bring that with me on this trip? Damage reduction of 10, damage reduction of 15, and it's not even fully repaired. Let's try something. Although I wanted to keep, yeah, you know, I wanted to keep, oh, I can't repair it with that. I wanted to keep a reinforced leather armor around, in case I had, the ingredients to make, like, crazy gecko armor and stuff. Which was showing up as a thing, that is a lot of that anti-venom. There you go. I come back and get the rest of that later. Yeah, so I might have to do a little off-screen, bringing stuff back and forth, but I think it's fairly obvious that we chose a nicer path. I'm trying to save the game. It didn't save for some reason. I think we chose a nicer path by preventing him from murdering that guy. Didn't really do a whole lot. Well, I mean, the white legs were still wiped out, but in a different way. But yeah, things worked out better for the Sorrows. And I think we kind of saved Joshua's soul. So that's nice. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to call it a video. Off screen, I'm going to have to do a little juggling to get stuff to the right places. Try to get all the cool gear that I picked up back to the Mojave. But I think I'll do that off screen. Unless something really interesting happens in the process, I'll just fill you in the next video. When we, well, I don't know if I'll have a video's worth of futzing around back at our main camp. Sorry, before we get on the next DLC. Maybe the next video we'll just get going with the next DLC. That's probably the plan anyway. And then in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, should I take a break? I've done 2 DLCs now. There's a total of 4. Should I take a little break and work on another DLC from another Let's Play that I promised to do? I have to work all that stuff out in my own mind. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed Let's Play Fallout New Vegas Honest Hearts. I'm Mysterious JG, and I'll catch you guys down the road.